It's all starting to make sense. The constant posts.
It's all beginning to come together in a pretty alarming way. The non-stop promotion of ticket sales stands out. For the first time since the arrival of a once-in-a-generation star, Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever seem almost desperate, practically pleading with fans to purchase tickets. Think about that for a moment. Even preseason games still have seats open, with prices reaching a staggering $280.
More. I've never seen them ask more. I've never seen them demand more. I've never seen them tweet more. When it comes to ticket sales and trying to sell out an arena, I have never seen the Indiana Fever ask more than they are asking now. And I am beginning to find
the home opener. Large portions of the arena remain completely empty, with tickets still unsold. This is the same team that packed out its opener in less than an hour just last year. The very same franchise boasting what many consider the biggest draw in the history of women's basketball is now facing a different reality. Fans are openly explaining why they're choosing not to show up. They haven't forgotten what happened last season, and this time, they're not willing to be misled again.
He lets us all know tickets are moving a little slowly for the Indiana Fever. When you compare it to the first year, flew off the shelves. When you compare it to the second year, hashtag now you know, flew off the shelves. They couldn't keep them long enough. Now, we are a week away from preseason. A lot of tickets available. We are about 2 weeks away from the regular season. A lot of tickets available. Not only are they available, but the Indiana Fever, these tickets are high. Like, I wouldn't spend that much money on tickets.
So, here's the question. When your team has undeniably the most exciting and widely followed player in the entire sport, yet still can't sell out its home opener just days before the season begins, doesn't that point to a serious issue? Doesn't it suggest that fans may have lost confidence in how the organization is managing that star? Or is this simply a case of higher ticket prices and a struggling economy? Either way, take a closer look, because something clearly isn't right in Indiana.
Is the juice worth the squeeze? Especially when you don't know the role of your favorite player. People remember last year. Day to day, and they would spend tickets and spend money.
All right, let's take a closer look at what's going on with the Indiana Fever's ticket sales right now. Honestly, this feels like one of those situations where the raw numbers are revealing a reality the organization would rather people overlook. The Fever have been pushing ticket availability nonstop, almost to the point of urgency, flooding social media and repeatedly posting and tweeting about seats still being up for grabs.
At Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White said before the game that the fact that she is day-to-day means that the imaging she got today is good news. Still no.
They're blasting out email reminders and going all out in a way they've never had to before just to move tickets. And it really can't be emphasized enough. This is something we've never seen from a team with Caitlin Clark on the roster. Over the past 2 years, during the peak surge of the Caitlin Clark era, tickets would sell out almost instantly.
And the craziest thing about this last groin injury with Caitlin Clark is how it's been covered. The day after she had the groin injury, she was listed as day-to-day. And then a couple weeks after that, then she was listed to being out indefinitely. Now, ESPN had August 12th as the circled return date for Caitlin Clark to get back onto the court. And just yesterday, she was listed as a game time decision for today's game against the Dallas Wings. And then after practice yesterday, Coach Stephanie White basically came out and said, no, Caitlin Clark hasn't even been practicing, so they changed it from a game time decision to her being out.
Think back to that first year. Tickets disappeared within minutes. It was a complete frenzy. And in year 2, nothing changed. The Fever couldn't keep seats available for long at all. Fans were rushing, competing, doing whatever it took to secure a spot at those games. The resale market, platforms like StubHub and SeatGeek, went into overdrive. Getting tickets at face value was nearly impossible because demand was through the roof. That was the Caitlin Clark effect at its peak. She became the biggest attraction in women's basketball and turned the Indiana Fever into the most in-demand ticket in the entire WNBA. But now, Fast forward to today, just a week before the preseason and about 2 weeks ahead of the regular season. The situation looks very different.
This has been all over the place, and I get it to a certain extent. The fans, the media does not need to know every little thing that's going on with Caitlin Clark's injuries, especially a star player like that. We will never know all the information, nor should we know all the information, and that's actually good for Caitlin. It protects her for when she does come back on the court. She can't be targeted. Teams can't use a certain injury or ailment against her if people don't really know what is going on. But the reporting of her timeline in general, there has been no rhyme or reason to what has been shared about it.
Now we're just days away from tip-off, and there are still plenty of tickets left. And it's not just the cheap seats way up high or some low-profile weekday matchup. This is the headline home opener against the Dallas Wings, a game that should easily be sold out, yet whole sections remain empty. Upper-level seats are still sitting there at over $100 untouched. Mid-level sections are priced between $300 and $400. And if you want courtside spots near the bench, you're looking at anywhere from $700 to $900. The surprising part? Fans aren't buying. What's even more shocking is the preseason pricing. Tickets are ranging from $100 to $280. Think about that, preseason games. These are matchups that don't even count in the standings, essentially tune-up games where teams are still experimenting and figuring things out. Rotations are still being tested, and the stars may only see limited minutes, yet the Fever are still pricing some of those seats as high as $280. For many fans, that feels hard to justify for what are essentially glorified exhibition games, and it's not surprising that people are looking at those prices and deciding to sit it out. Now, supporters of the Indiana Fever and its more vocal defenders will likely point to the broader economy as the main explanation, and to some degree, they're not wrong. Gas prices are higher, airfare has become extremely expensive, and the overall cost of living has gone up sharply. Even a basic grocery trip can feel noticeably more expensive than it used to. Those pressures are real, and they absolutely affect how people spend their discretionary income. People choose how to spend their discretionary income, and sports tickets are clearly a luxury. No one is denying that. But the weakness in that argument is this: the economy wasn't exactly thriving last year either. Inflation has been a persistent issue for several years now. And yet, even under those same economic pressures, tickets still sold out almost instantly during the previous season. That raises an obvious question. What has actually changed? Why are the same fans who were willing to pay premium, inflated prices last year now more hesitant this year? One interpretation is that it's not primarily about the economy at all, but about trust. More specifically, a breakdown in trust between the organization and its fan base, shaped by how recent expectations and experiences were handled. The Fever have allegedly mishandled Caitlin Clark's situation last season in a way that left fans frustrated and distrustful. Constant uncertainty about her injury status meant fans often spent money on tickets, travel, and hotels only to find out at the last minute that she wasn't playing. On top of that, critics argue she was sometimes used in a way that didn't maximize her impact even when healthy, leading to disappointment for those paying premium prices to see her. Combined with unclear communication, restrictive minute management concerns, and questionable roster and coaching decisions, many fans now feel burned and are choosing to wait before buying tickets again until they trust the organization to deliver on expectations.